Hello everyone, in this video we will see how to create a auto upgrade button or an idle game button if you prefer. So the first thing I'm going to do is once again create a new button. So I'm going to rename that auto collect upgrade button. I'm going to move it. I'm just going to rename the text autocollect. So now we will go into the script and we're going to create a new function. I'm going to name this function upgrade autocollect button, or actually just upgrade autocollect. And the logic is going to be extremely similar to the previous button we have, the upgrade button. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to create new variables. So I'm going to create a label autocollect variable, which is going to be an int like the previous one. And I also need a cost, which is going to be a double. So public double autocollect upgrade cost. And I'm going to give it a default value of 200. And what we need to do is also to create a new variable that is going to be a money per second variable. So right now it's going to be 0, we have nothing yet. And this is also going to be a double. So if I go back to the button logic, I'm going to do pretty much the same thing as before, as I mentioned. If I have enough money, so if I have more money than the cost of the upgrade, then things can happen. So when I do, I will buy one upgrade, which is going to update the level by 1. I'm going to lose the amount of money I just spent on the upgrade. And the cost of the button is going to be increased by 1.1. And here I just made a mistake. I added the cost and not multiplied it, and I will fix that in the next video. What's different though here is we're not changing the amount of money we have, but we're changing the amount of money per second we have. We multiply that by 1.07. Pretty much the exact same thing as the upgrade button. This is just to show you the logic, and this is not too much about the math and numbers themselves. But here right now, if I multiply my money per second by whatever number I have, because I start with 0, whatever happens, it's always going to be 0 because of this. So I need to have some sort of logic to prevent this mistake where I could just multiply everything by 0, which will not lead anywhere. So what I'm going to say here is that if the level of the autocollect button is 0, which is at the very beginning of the game, if that's the case, then the level of the button will be changed to 1. And if that's not the case, if our button has been upgraded before, it means I don't need to put it to level 1 again. So I'm just going to apply the logic of leveling up every time we click on the button. So level autocollect plus plus. And what I also need to do here in this if-else logic is that if this is the first time we have this upgrade, then the money per second will be changed from 0 to 1 to avoid any multiplication by 0. And if that's not the case, then we apply the base logic of multiplying it by 1.07. And while this is happening, we still need to upgrade this every second of the game because we want the money to be, we want the collecting of the money to happen all the time. I need to go into the update function and say that the money is improved every second by the money per second we have and by time.delta time, which means just multiplying by whatever time is happening. So time.delta time is the unity function by default to get the time values. So I'm putting that into the update function and not the update money function as I just did. And that's pretty much it. That's all you need to do. So what we're doing exactly here is that every frame, the amount of money we have will be improved by the amount of money per second, or the idle money we make. And back into the editor, I need to assign the function to the button. So I drag the game manager object into the button, go into game manager and choose the upgrade autocollect function. Every time we will be pressing the button, the logic will be applied. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new text and I'm going to name this money per second. And just like the money text, this will display the value of the amount of money per second we're making, so the amount of idle money we are making. So back into the script, I'm going to create a new Fabrics Text Mesh Pro, and I'm going to name that money per second text. And this money per second text dot text will be changed to the amount of money per second we have, so money per second, and I'm going to change that into a string, so money per second dot to string. Back into the editor, I need to go into my game manager and assign the money per second text object into the money per second text in the script. Once I've done that, I can go into play mode, go into the game manager and see our values. So right now I cannot buy anything, so I need to upgrade. So I need to tap, make some money. I see that the logic from the previous video is working, and now I can have an auto collect money that works. If we look on the side on the game manager object, we can see that the money per second has a value of 1, and we can see that our money number is very odd, but updating every second as it should. However, the issue is that it shows a lot of numbers after the decimal, and this is a problem we will solve in the next video. This is just a UI problem, because right now our text value is just the double, so a double has a lot of decimals. And we can limit that to, for example, having only 1 or 2 numbers after the decimal point. And if I go back into the play mode again, I can see the same thing happening, but I did not mention that, but we can see the very small number of 1 or 1.07 after being level 2 right here. So it shows that our money per second is working. We can see that our amount of money is changing by itself every second, and this amount is the amount of money per second value. So I will talk more about how to change the UI and make it look better in the next video. So I will see you then.